Alright, on to the quest of finding the perfect ammunition for my 243, which I'm making into a DMR. With the last video, I shot 108s and I shot something like 15 MOA. There's a catch to this story. So I bought some 90 grains, and I actually expected those to run. Like, I was already convinced before I even shot a 108, it's not going to run, so I didn't put a whole lot of time in making up my load. I literally just went half of the max and the minimum pressure, threw that in there, and then put a tip on there, and I went to the maximum length of an SR25 magazine. Well, with the 90 grain, I had a very good idea that those would run, so what I did is I made a cartridge, and then I dropped it in my bore, and then I closed my bolt on it, and I kept shrinking it down until I found where my lands were. Like, okay, so now I can put the cartridge in there, it's not touching the lands anymore, I'm not getting any scarring on the bullet, so let's back it down just a little bit more and call it a day. I measure this, and it was quite shorter than an SR25 magazine. I have these 90s set just off of the land, and that's like a 1/16 of an inch smaller than the magazine size is. And the 108s I ran right to about the exact magazine size. So I found out with my 108s, I was way into the lands. So far into the lands, I don't even know how the bolt closed. Like, it was either damaging the projectiles or crushing them. Either which way, I'm like, oh, that sucks. I didn't give the 108s a fair shake, so let's take those out again and give them a try. So I did. I fired 3 rounds. Tick, tick, tick. Sub MOA. Like, okay. The problem is every time I fired a 108, the case would get stuck in the chamber. The primer wasn't flat, there was no high pressure signs, everything looked totally normal, but for some reason, the case would get stuck in there. So I don't know exactly why that happens. Literally every single 108 I fired, the case was stuck in the chamber. Alright, so I'm not sure why, but I'm getting stuck cases. The casing doesn't appear to be damaged, the primer isn't flattened out, so we're not going to shoot the rest of those 108s. We're going to try to shoot 90, and hopefully 90 will not get a stuck case, otherwise there might be something wrong with the rifle itself. And we're dry. I'm going to try to shoot that last 108 to see if that gets stuck in the chamber, because I'm done with this rifle after that, so if it gets stuck, it's not a big deal. Just going to put it like center target. And it got stuck. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much just going to give up on the 108s because no matter what I'm doing, it seems to be having problems. The 90s did shoot okay. As the barrel started to warm up, I got a point of impact shift left, and then it went down a little bit, but it's close enough to where I think if I play with my charge a little bit, I can really dial that one in. I was only able to fire 3 out of the 5. I could probably reduce the pressure, and that would stop, but honestly, the 108s have just had some bad juju. First, I did them, and I ran too long of an overall length. Then, now all of a sudden, with the same exact charge, I am getting cases stuck in the chamber. So I'm just going to forget about 108s. They would probably work. I could probably work up a load and make it work for this, but because the overall length is so short, it's just not ideal for a 108 anyway. I would really kind of need my chamber reamed a little bit deeper in order to take a 108, because otherwise so much of the projectiles inside of there, it's just not going to be all that accurate. Yes, I did shoot sub MOA, like pretty damn nice group actually, but I just had too much bad juju, so I'm going to stick with the 90s, and the 108s will ultimately go to the Archangel project, which is going to be a 6mm arc and some sort of bolt gun. It's just going to be strictly a target gun. I'm calling it the Archangel because the ammunition is called 6mm Arc. It's going to be with like snow camouflage, so Archangel, you know, kind of makes sense. Alright, so then I have a 20 round mag of the 90s. Finally get the thing cleared out, and I give her a try. Alright, so it's not shooting all crazy, like there's not a crazy pattern, but neither did the 108s. I'm afraid to test that last 108 to see if it shoots in the same spot, but I already had 2 shots from the 108, so I'm going to adjust up 1 MOA, so I should be point of aim, point of impact, and then I'm going to start shooting at a new spot. So I fire 3 of the 90s, nice sub MOA group. Okay, so let's fire a string and see how it does, because I want to get an overall feel of how it does. So what, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16 rounds. This was my point of aim. I did for sure, 100% screw this shot up myself. It was like my third shot, and I'm like, ooh, I just pulled that one. Were these three right here a screw-up shot? I don't know. The point is, this was my point of aim, and it did hit there. I think the second shot was actually like right on there, because I had dialed up, because I was right here, so I was like, oh, go up 1 MOA. I should have corrected over too, because even right here you can tell it's more lined up with the 10, so it needs to come over a little bit. But anyway, the point is, like, how I was shooting. So I had my 3, nice, really tiny sub MOA, and I kept firing the other 16 or whatever I just counted and said I had. As I was shooting, they were starting to climb up. So to me, I'm not an expert. I'm not. I play guessing games when I'm reloading. Yes, there's a lot of great information out there, but to me, what I'm seeing is that I'm right on the edge of an accuracy node. So I got to back down my charge a little bit, because as the bullet, or as a barrel heats up and the bullet starts picking up velocity, now it starts climbing this way like quite a bit, and then my group opens up. This is still, it's over 1 MOA, probably like, I don't know, I'd have to measure it. But like the majority of them were right here. These were a couple of flyers on the outside edge. So pretending I didn't screw those up, it would probably be like 1.25 MOA, something like that. And I didn't work up a load or anything. I just randomly picked a powder charge, boom, threw it in there. It runs. Now I'm going to start developing my load and shrink that down. But this ain't that bad. So then I take out the 300 PRC to get disappointed like normal. No, and of course it did not stay zeroed. My 5-shot group with this group. For whatever reason, the first one decided to be the flyer. It was right there. Normally, it's the 4th or the 5th. For this particular group, it's the 4th shot, or the 1st shot. But what's really telling here is, so as it was getting warmer, I was constantly dialing in this direction to get it on target. Like every time I go out and shoot, I'd be on this side of the target, so I dial over. Now that it's cooling down, it's going the opposite way. I'm already, since like the original 0, 3 MOA dialed over, and now it looks like I need to dial over another MOA to get it back on target. And this is what, 16 shots right here out of the shredder? Right about the exact same size as I can put 5 shots with the 300 PRC. So what am I getting at here? For my application, that barrel on that 300 PRC is completely useless. As the climate changes, so does my point of aim. or point of aim, point of impact. So that eliminates any possibility of it being some sort of like competition rifle or sniper rifle. If it held a 0, then yes, I could work with these accuracy numbers and I can make it work. But the fact is, it's not holding a 0. And it has too bad of accuracy. Now, if I had that barrel on a hunting rifle, remember, this is at 100 yards. A deer heart's like, what, the size of your fist? That still would have been a heart shot. Easily. Easily within inside the vitals out to like 500 yards. So for a hunting barrel, that's good to go. However, for my application, what I'm trying to do, that's just not going to work. It's not going to work at all. I am pulling the barrel off of that rifle. I can't deal with it anymore. Yes, I should change the scope just to absolutely confirm that the scope isn't broken. But I've never seen anything like this with a broken scope. Normally, if you have a broken scope, it's like all your shots while it was working, you know, you have your nice group, and all of a sudden it'll be like hit, 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 like all over the place. So I feel confident the scope isn't broken. I should pull the scope. I really should. I should put on another scope and test it, but I'm not going to. I'm just rebarreling it. I've already put so much money into that rifle. And for me to test another scope, I would have to put a scope on there, 0 it, go home, come back in a day or so, and shoot it again and see if it held 0. I'd have to come back when the temperature is significantly different. That's just too much work. I'm not willing to do that. That's getting a new barrel. The carbon fiber barrel, I'm going to wind up giving away to one of you guys. It will make an excellent hunting barrel. Like if you're building a hunting rifle in a Magnum caliber, that barrel will kick ass. That will be ideal. However, for my application, it's just not working. It's going to get a stainless steel barrel. I've decided I'm not even touching that gun again until it's been rebarreled. So there's that. But other than that, the shredder's doing great. Like I said, I can obviously run 108s after I figured out, you know, I was doing something incredibly wrong. I'm surprised I didn't damage the gun. So yeah, you should definitely check your work before you go. And I had assumed that the chamber was longer than an SR-25 magazine because it almost always is. Rarely ever do I run into a gun where the chamber is shorter than the actual magazine. So usually if something fits in the magazine, it'll fit inside the gun. I should have double checked that, but I didn't. So yeah, that sucks that I did that. But anyway, the 108s, because of the stuck cases, the projectile just rubbed me the wrong way. So we're going with 90 grain. I kind of wish I would have went with a 108 because that's got a BC of 500 and the 90 grain has a BC of 400. 400 is still plenty respectable. That will do everything I want this rifle to do. I only want this to really shine from 300 to 500 yards. A 400 BC, oh, more than capable. Plus you have a higher muzzle velocity. Crap, I totally forgot to chrono it. It should be around like 3,000 feet per second, so that'll give me a nice flat projectile. I'll have a decent BC. It will easily handle 300 to 500 yards without a problem. And that's where this is going to shine, so that's cool. The 500 BC, that's more like something I would want for like 1,000 or so. But anyway, yeah, so we're sticking with 90s. The point is, this is coming right along. Everything's going successfully. And that little bastard right there is getting rebarreled. I'm probably not even going to take it out. I'm probably going to oil it up and leave it sit until I can afford a new barrel. And then we're going to go with probably a Krieger stainless steel barrel. I'll probably get something fluted. I don't know. It's got to look cool because, I mean, the whole gun looks cool. So I got to have some sort of cool fluting on it. I don't know. I'm thinking Krieger. I got to talk to a bunch of people. If you guys suggest like a specific barrel, like this is the one you should get, let me know. Otherwise, I'm probably going Krieger. I'm probably going to go with a 1.8 twist because it currently has a 1.9, so I can't run the 250s. And someday I might want to run the 250s, so I think I'm probably going to wind up going with a 1.8 twist on that. Anyway, thank you for watching and following along with the project. If you'd like to help support the channel, got a Patreon right there. I also have affiliate links in the description down below. Just by clicking on those links, even if you don't purchase what that particular link is for, just clicking on that and then doing the Amazon shopping you were already going to do anyway, a little kickback for it because you came there off my channel. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.